These are the 5 players that you should be watching out for in tonight's preseason game against the Titans. At least I know I'm going to. And starting with number 1, Dominic Puni. Now, he is listed as third on the unofficial depth chart right now, but I do actually anticipate he will get the start at right guard. Dominic Puni, ever since Pad have come on in training camp, he has not given up that starting spot. And even over Jonathan Feliciano, who's been dealing with injuries, but when he came back to practice, it was still Puni with the ones, and he has not rotated with anyone. So that is going to be someone that you really want to keep your eyes on. He's looked really solid in training camp to start, really good in pass protection as well. One of the key things that I'm going to be looking for with Dominic Puni is how he operates in the run game. That's what I really want to see. Now, obviously, we want to see him in pass protection as well, but so far we have seen that at camp, and he's done a pretty stellar job. So for me, I'm locked in on Puni and in the run game. Now, number 2 on this list, I'm going to kind of split it in half because I'm really excited to see D Winters, but I'm also really excited to see Jalen Graham. So, kind of using the linebacker spot, this is the next. These are the next group of guys that I'm really excited to see play, and I'm assuming they are going to get a ton of snaps. Obviously, Fred Warner most likely won't play. I don't even know if Devondre Campbell will play. And we know Dre Greenlaw's on PUP. So this is a huge opportunity for guys like D Winters and Jalen Graham to solidify themselves on this defense, because we have seen D Winters, even Graham too, also run with the starters at training camp. D Winters has had one of the best camps out of anyone. He honestly reminds me of Dre Greenlaw with the intensity that he plays with the speed that he moves at. He's turning into be a really quality player. So those are 2 linebackers that I'm really looking forward to seeing. A theme of this guys to watch episode is going to be rookies, because as it is expected, there won't be too many veterans playing in this preseason game. This will be just for the other guys, the younger guys, to get some reps, get some game time experience. So Renardo Green is potentially going to get a lot of reps in this particular game. I don't expect Diamador Lenore or Charvarius Ward to play. Isaac Yadam has been dealing with some injuries, so I don't even know if he will play. So there's a good chance Renardo Green could get the start today at cornerback, and he has had an impressive camp as well for being a young cornerback. He is ahead of guys like Darrell Luter Jr., who's got banged up late in camp. He's ahead of guys like Womack and Ambry Thomas. I do imagine we will see a lot of Ambry Thomas and Womack today, but the guy that I'm looking for is Renardo Green. Seeing how he holds up at the NFL level, he's been really solid in training camp. Now, we just got word from Matt Mayoko about the running back situation, and as it currently stands, it looks like the 49ers are going to be down multiple running backs for this preseason opener. No Christian McCaffrey, no Elijah Mitchell, and no Isaac Guerrero. That would leave Jordan Mason as your starter. But I don't even know if Jordan Mason's going to play a lot based on having your top 2 running back. I think actually Jordan Mason has jumped Elijah Mitchell on the depth chart at this point, but for the sake of argument, the top 2 running backs out, you don't want to risk Jordan Mason getting an injury. So I would expect a ton of run from Cody Schrader today. So Cody Schrader has also been a young, promising running back who's looked really solid in training camp. He really does. I think he really, if Isaac Guerrero and this injury is persistent and Isaac Schrader shows well enough where the 49ers don't believe that they will be able to get him back on the practice squad, you might have a situation where the 49ers could redshirt Isaac Guerrero and keep Cody Schrader on the roster. So this is a really big preseason for Cody Schrader. He's looked good in training camp. He's run a lot with the 3s and 2s, minimal snaps with the 1s. But I'm excited to see what he'll look like in this preseason game. And then last but not least, number 5 on my list is actually not a rookie, it's a veteran. I'm excited to see Trent Taylor in his return to the San Francisco 49ers, just because he's had a quietly solid camp. I don't think many expect a whole lot from Trent Taylor. Right now, he's listed as the team starting punt returner. So I think that's his best bet on getting onto this roster is being the most consistent punt returner. And if he can go out and he can show that he can be reliable in the passing game, and to be honest, he has. He's looked really good in camp in multiple facets, not just kind of your typical slot guy, like where you've seen him make plays around the line of scrimmage, short to intermediate, but we've seen him make some plays downfield as well. So Trent Taylor, I think, has a lot on the line in this game, and I do think there's an opportunity for him to maybe sneak onto this roster somehow. So I'm excited to see what Trent Taylor looks like in his return. Obviously, seeing how he handles the punt situations because the 49ers, for whatever it's been, has just really struggled finding a solid returner over the last, it feels like 5 years. I just really since like Richie James was back there, they just really haven't felt like they had someone who you feel comfortable with on a game in, game out basis. So that will be someone that will be looking for some honorable mentions. I think Ronnie Bell will get a lot of run today. So I want to see what Ronnie Bell looks like. Another honorable mention, Braden Willis. Really excited to see what Braden Willis looks like. I thought he should be your tight end too. Right now, throughout training camp, I thought he's shown a ton of upside and a lot of promise. So Braden Willis will be another guy that I'm really excited to look for. Nick Zakelj, I want to see because I know when you go back to that Raiders preseason game last year, he struggled mightily. And he's been kind of rotating in with the ones. So I want to see Nick Zakelj in some game time action, see if he looks much improved from last year. So that will be a guy that I got my eyes on. I want to see Nick Zakelj, how he looks. Eric Saubert as well. Another rookie tight end, Mason Pline. I think he's going to be a practice squad guy, but I think he's a guy that has some potential. He moves really well. Would love to see him on the practice squad develop into a guy that you could rely on later on down the road. But right now, I don't think there's a shot for him to make the 53. But if he shows well enough, he could potentially make some guys question that. But I do think his best bet will be via the practice squad. So looking forward to that. I believe Jacob Cowing is going to play. So I want to see how he does. He's been sparingly used with injuries in training camp. Ricky Pearsall is the one that everyone's kind of got their eyes on. Is he going to be available? Is he going to play in this game? I think a lot of people want to see that first round rookie. We know he's been dinged up all throughout camp. He's had 3 injuries since he's been drafted with the San Francisco 49ers and still dealing with one. So the 49ers could, use him sparingly. So it's going to be interesting to see what his involvement looks like. Quarterback Tanner Mordecai, I think, is going to get a lot of run. Now, Tanner Mordecai didn't get a lot of reps in training camp early on, and towards the end, he started to get more. And one thing about Tanner Mordecai is he's got an arm on him. Like that ball comes out quickly. It comes out on a line. He's got some real zip behind his passes. So he's going to be a guy that is going to be interesting. Just some other names to kind of keep an eye on before. I'm excited to see what Robert Beal looks like. Excited to see what Evan Anderson, defensive tackle, looks like. Tatum Bethune, if he gets much run. So there's definitely other guys to keep an eye on out here with the San Francisco 49ers. And there's the top 5 that I mentioned. But we get football back. And these are guys that all are either young, up-and-coming guys who could step into larger roles or some guys who are battling for roster spots. So I think that will be the theme of today is who can solidify themselves, who can stand out, who can make plays, and who can potentially make this roster. Who are your guys' top 5 players from the 49ers roster that you want to see? I want to see you drop it in the chat. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.